We are entering the craziest time period for college football, and the transfer portal is wide open. And these are the top running backs you need to know for 2026. Who will they land? Where will they land? Let's talk about it right here. 5 that you need to know. Let's start with Isaac Brown, running back from Louisville, taking his talents elsewhere. It sounds like he might go to the state of Texas. Sounds like the Texas Longhorns are right on him, but this is a huge loss for Louisville. This is a guy that will immediately be seen as potentially the top running back in the 2027 draft. This kid has a lot of great skills.
Yeah, ACC Rookie of the Year just a few years ago. Louisville will be hurt at the running back position. I feel for all the Cardinal fans out there, but 1,100 yards in 2024, like you can't just like rattle that off the tongue. You got to like think about 1,173 yards in 2024, 884 this season, but on 64 less carries. That means his yards per carry went from 7.1 to 8.8. Pretty big jump there. Much more efficient. He had 18 touchdowns, but he's got that long range of 77, 78 longs on the last 2 years. Not a huge receiving threat, but he has the speed. I mean, this kid can absolutely light up a defense and really tear them wide open. 1,100 yards, man. Like I just keep coming back to that. Whoever ends up with Isaac Brown will be better at the running back position this next year.
Yeah, I've seen this 40 times. Some things they're showing him about a 4.4 40, 4.48. Pretty good for a running back, especially at his size. This is a guy that I think is going to make an immediate impact, especially if he goes to a prestigious program like maybe one of the Texas Longhorns. Let's continue on, but before we do so, welcome on in to Marv and Rauh in the morning, where we bring you daily sports content every single weekday and bonus content like you're getting right now on the channel. So be sure to subscribe. We're giving you all of this stuff for absolutely free. All you got to do is click that subscribe button. Next up on the list, Trey Wisner from Texas. So potentially one player going from Texas to, or from Louisville to Texas, and then some player leaving Texas. I mean, this is an interesting guy too. He's a little undersized, but I don't think that's really stopped him to being a successful college running back. He's very talented. He's known for very good cuts. He's got some very good contact balance as well, even for his smaller size. And he's one of those guys that can block as well in either receiving, pass blocking kind of skills. I really like Trey Wisner. He might be the most underrated running back on this list, even though his talent size is really strong.
Yeah, he absolutely might be. You mentioned his undersized. He's standing about 6 feet tall. So, I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I like to think that I'm not necessarily undersized, but I'm also not a D1 running back. So keep that in mind. As far as his stats go, he had 1,000 yards rushing in 2024. Another, anytime you get into that 4-digit mark, that is incredible. He had 1,700 yards over the last 3 seasons. He averaged 4.6 I think that's yards per carry over the last 2. Yep. Obviously, major uptick in production and usage rate over the last 2 years. 8 of his 9 touchdowns came over the last 2 years. This kid saw a big jump and really answered the call, stepped up to it. So it is crazy to think that he'll be moving on from Texas, but Trey Wisner, a name to look out for absolutely in this running back market.
Yeah, good receiver ability, finds gaps well in the running game, makes the most of his blocking, although he's not the biggest running back out there, understands zone concepts as well. I think his football IQ is really high. Wherever he lands, I think he's going to be a very good running back in 2026. Here's somebody that you know quite well, and this is Iowa State running back Abu Sama. And man, he's dynamic, an explosive running back. Iowa State obviously getting beat up in the transfer portal with the movement of Matt Campbell, but this is someone that is going to be a huge win for somebody in the 2026 transfer portal.
Yeah, I would look for any team that gets a lot of rain, because anytime Abu Sama is playing in precipitation, he is 6 to 7 times better. Didn't even do that one on purpose, but boy, is he's a snow game legend, especially Farmageddon 2 years ago, whatever that was, maybe 3 years ago. It was incredible. I think if you haven't seen it, you should go watch that highlight reel. But he's a very shifty running back, not quite as north and south as Carson Hansen, who we might talk about today, but another Iowa State running back. He was second to Carson Hansen basically his entire time at Iowa State. Why I bring up Carson Hansen. Yet he still had 1,933 yards and 13 touchdowns. He is very fast. He can rip the long one. He isn't really used as a receiving threat, though. I'm curious to see if he follows Campbell out to Penn State or if he will kind of explore other options. Regardless, whoever ends up with Abu Sama will certainly have a solid running back in their backfield.
He has home run ability. We see him with multiple long runs over and over again, has great speed, has great quickness,
that's his probably biggest
explosive burst. That is probably his best trait for sure. Natural ability to break tackles as well. He's a former state champion in the long jump. He's a very fantastic athlete. So yeah,
Hey,
Abu Sama could be.
he's a hurdler. He can hurdle people like that. That makes sense with the long jump right there.
Yeah, yeah, interesting stuff for sure. Abu Sama from Iowa State. Next up, this might be my favorite running back in all of the transfer portal. So I want to make sure we talked about him. And I'm surprised that he's actually leaving the Washington Huskies. Adam Mohamd is going to be an interesting player wherever he lands. He is such an interesting one. And the fact that he is leaving Washington to go somewhere else just shows that he is going to be a rising star, potentially inside still the power two.
Yeah, he had 523 yards and 5 touchdowns last season, 17 receptions for 138 yards out of the backfield. At 6 feet tall with 2 years of eligibility remaining, this is a guy that does make your running back room a little bit better. I guess I'm curious, why is he one of your favorite prospects as far as running backs go in this cycle?
I just like the way that he performed for Jed Fish over this time at Washington. I mean, yeah, the numbers might not be like something that sticks out to you, but he is truly, I think, a rising star in college football. And
Okay.
where he lands, I think he's going to be one of those guys that, like, okay, you need to know this guy's name, especially if he lands at one of those premier programs, maybe in the Southeastern Conference.
Sometimes there's guys like that out there that just make massive impact, even if the yards don't necessarily line up. Thinking of just off the last few days off the top of my head, Kawan Lacey at Ole Miss, like didn't make a huge number impact in the Ole Miss Georgia game, but I thought was one of the most important players in that comeback win for Ole Miss. So keep that in mind. Obviously, you see the 523 yards. No, that's not 1,100, but that doesn't mean that he isn't a very competent running back.
Yeah, let's wrap up this with one more here. If we missed anybody that you want to discuss, let us know in the comment description below. Maybe if we snubbed one of your favorite running backs in the transfer portal, we want to hear from you right here on Marv and Rauh in the morning. Next up, I'm going to go Evan Pryor here from Cincinnati. I think this is another guy. Obviously, he was a 4-star running back heading into Cincinnati. He's been on this team for a little bit of time. He looked really good in his time there. Explosive burst as well. Kind of like Abu Sama, as we mentioned earlier, has that home run speed, capable of taking it to the house on any given play. This is one of those guys that most likely will be leaving the Big 12. If you want to consider it the power forward or the power two, I can see him taking that next step forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at he spent some time at Ohio State as well, and the big jump that I noticed was from Ohio State to Cincinnati. Went from about 2.6 yards per game or per carry, excuse me, per game at Ohio State, and then jumped all the way up to 7.5 and 6.9 over the last 2 seasons with Cincinnati. 940 and 1,087 yards in the last 2 seasons, and 9 of his 10 touchdowns came over the last 2 years. So he did triple his carries almost in the last 2 years each year, but he's a solid running back, and especially in the right system, he will make a large impact. I saw personally that he made a big impact in the passing game as well. 288 of his 298 receiving yards came over the last 2 years. So Cincinnati kind of unlocked this guy. Can Evan Pryor stay unlocked and really just beat up some defenses this upcoming year after signing somewhere in the portal? I absolutely think so. At 5'9", a little undersized, but with a full year of eligibility remaining, it will be very interesting to see which team picks him up.
Yeah, if you believe in his durability, obviously season-ending knee injury in the past is what kind of kept him away and most likely moved him down to Cincinnati. I mean, if you believe in him to have that type of durability back in his resume, then this is a really good guy to pay attention to. A blue chip pedigree type of player, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see him back in either the Big Ten or the SEC in 2026. And I don't think this is a guy that you got to worry about being undersized. He has that type of great skill set. Any other honorable mentions that we should mention on this one before we head out?
I think the one I'll throw at you really quick is just Carson Hansen, because we brought him up already. Very north and south, kind of run through your face kind of running back at 6'2". He led Iowa State. He was kind of that guy. I mean, obviously, Iowa State ran a little bit of a 1-2, but was definitely predominantly the focus for Iowa State. Had a 952-yard season. He has 19 touchdowns. I mean, he's been a very solid running back for Iowa State. I just wanted to bring him up. Whoever picks him up will get a really solid kind of workhorse type running back. And obviously tied out to Penn State there. But I didn't feel like bringing up Sama and not Hansen was fair to either Hansen or the running back market, just because they were such a duo. So one more for you as a little bonus if you hit subscribe, because I heard you do it. I heard you click that subscribe button down below. So shout out to you for doing that.
Yeah, maybe even ring that bell as well, because we are bringing you so much coverage over here at Marv and Rauh in the morning. You get live streams every Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern. Fridays, we go a little earlier, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern, and then exclusive bonus content like you're getting right now on our YouTube channel. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we'll see you back here next time right here on Marv and Rauh in the morning.